All right, welcome back. We're going to be working on our scratch cheese chase. As I've shown y'all, I'll repeat a little bit that in creating our cheese, we had a lot of problems with our costume. If you go in there and click on the costume tab and then magnify, enhance it by clicking on the magnifying glass. That kind of helps pull it together. From there, if we'll click, you can see that we've separated these and we've made two different parts. Now again, if I use my selector tool, I can separate that by pulling up. First, I made a rectangle simply by coming over here and clicking on the box, and then I drew a rectangle. I went ahead and chose my color before I did that, and that way it's able to show up. From there, I used my line tool to draw a straight line, such as this, and then I drew an angle, and then another line to close it. By doing that, I'm able to go in and make the top part of the cheese. Now, again, it helps that you keep them close together so you can make size measurements, but you can resize the different parts. Now, to make this work, again, you can use your paint bucket, click on that, and then use your selector tool. The selector tool is the arrow here at the top, and when you click on that, you can now click on or select that shape, and then you can grab it and move it to match up with your other parts. So I'm clicking on my selector tool, I'm highlighting the shape, I can then grab it and I can move it down. So I could then resize it by pulling things apart to make it better fit or pushing in. From there, you can add the different shapes, such as the circles for the holes in the cheese, and even change the color of that. From there, what we want to do today is we're now going to add code to this. So let me go back and, all right, to add our code, the code is important to make the cheese be interactive on this game. So we go up here and we click on code. Now this is what you're going to need to have. So make sure you save your work as we go along. Remember, File, Save Now, because you don't want to lose all of this work. First off, we need to sit there and put in the green flag. That's what tells the computer to read this code. So with your cheese, if you don't have cheese, just go ahead and go to the Sprite menu, choose Cake, and then we can go back and build the cheese and just copy this code over. But we're going to be sitting there using the green flag. Now, set score. Now, this is where you want to go down to your variables. You should already have a variable called score from when we did the hunting stars. But if by chance you didn't, all you have to do is go to variables, make a variable, type in score, and then make sure it says for all sprites. Variables, make variable, score, for all sprites, excuse me, and then OK. Now I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. Once we've done that, there's a command in there that says set my variable. We're going to drag that over here, and we're going to change that my variable to score by clicking on the drop down arrow. And we want to start the score at 0. Now, if we were a hacker, we could go ahead and start the score at 100 or 1,000. But that's what we could do. From there, we need to go back up and we need to do a control. We want to use our forever command. So we go to control and forever. Now that just means that we want this set of commands to run until the game stops or forever. So you go Control, Forever, and we just drag it over. Now, these are our movements. We're using our go to X and Y. So again, you want to go up to your movements. Esmeralda, I'll help you get caught up in a moment. We want to go to our motion, go to X and Y, but we don't have this green operators yet. So this is important. We're going to sit here and we're going to go to our operators and we're going to pick random. The first one we want to put in negative 220. And I'm not even typing very well, am I? Pick random, negative 220. And then up here, we type in 220. All right, that took me way too long to put that up there. Same for the Y, except we're using negative 160 and 160. So one last time, we go to motion, go to X and Y. We then go to our operators. We want to pick random, change it to negative 220 and 20. Pick random, put it on the Y, change it to negative 160 and 60. Now again, I'm going to drag this out of the way. So we've done these. We're now working on the wait until. Again, now that is another control. So let's go to Control. And down closer to the bottom of it, you will find wait until. But now we're not using a random. We're wanting to be touching something. So when we're touching the mouse, that's when we're going to score, because when the mouse is touching the cheese, we were successful. But when I drag that when touching, wait until touching, it says mouse pointer. If you click on the drop down arrow, it will say mouse 1 because we've added that sprite in there. Okay. Next, now that the mouse is touching the cheese, we want to change the score. Again, this is going to be down at your variables. So go to variables, and you will see change my variable by 1. Grab that, move it over here. Now, again, we want to change my score, so we're going to change it to score by clicking on the drop-down arrow. But now we're going to change it to 10. Now, as a hacker or as the programmer, you could change it to 10, you could change it by 20, you could change it by 100. It's whatever you wanted to put that at. And then our last one that we're adding in here is sound. So we go to sound, and we want to play sound, or actually we'll do start sound pop. Start sound pop. So we go to sound, start sound pop. So this is what we're looking for in our code for the cheese. Now, this is an excellent time to go up to File, Save Now. so you don't lose this work. From there, we're going to go over here to the magnifying glass and we're going to type in ghost. So we hover over the cat, go to magnifying glass and type in ghost. And then click on that one. Now, we've got several commands we're going to be putting on ghost. I'm going to give you a few minutes here. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to give you a few minutes here to work on getting this code down correctly with the sprite of the cheese. And that way you've got a few minutes to work on that and get caught up if you're needing to build the cheese.
Can I do something else while we're waiting?
You can do something else while you're waiting. All right, welcome back. We're going to now work on coding with the ghost. I've shown you what we're doing here in that we've added a ghost by going to our sprites. We've got 2 lines of code and we're going to look at both of these. Right now, this first line that we're seeing is kind of enlarged so it's easier to see, but we want to start with our event when the green flag is clicked. Now I'm still up here on the ghost, my mistake, and same here. On the cheese. Let me go to the ghost. All right, here we go. Our first command that we're going to be looking at is over here. Okay, when the green flag is clicked, you want to then hide. So we want to hide the ghost at the very beginning. We don't want it to be there as it starts up. So we're going to go to our looks. And in looks, you'll find the hide command. Then we want to set our rotation. We did this with the sharks on hunting stars. So again, that's going to be a motion. And we want to set there in set rotation. And we want to choose left to right. If for whatever reason it's not there set to left to right, that's what you want to do. From that point, you want to go ahead and choose forever. So we go to control. We go down here and we choose forever. Now that means these commands are going to be repeating until it is told to stop.
Can you scroll to the left, Mr. Johnson?
I'm sorry?
Can you scroll to the left?
Okay, not right now. Now, from here, we want to sit there and we want to use our point towards. So we want the ghost to always be pointing towards the mouse because the ghost is chasing the mouse. So again, we go up to our motion. And in here, you will find point towards, but it says mouse pointer. We don't want it to follow the mouse cursor. We want it to follow the mouse. So choose the drop down arrow, and from there, you should be able to find it. Point towards. Now, from that, we want it to move, but we don't want it to move quite as fast as the mouse. So we're going to go up here and we're going to move steps, and we're going to change that to 10. I'm sorry, from 10 to 1. So we go move, change that to 1. And we've already got that up here on the screen, so I'm going to get both of those commands off so you can follow. Now, remember our conditional statements. If true, then do this. So it's got to be true. If touching mouse, stop all. So we go to our control, if then. We go to our sensing for your touching mouse. And right now it starts out as mouse pointer. Change it to mouse 1. Then we go back to our controls. And at the bottom, you'll see stop all. You drag that over there, drop it in, stop all. Now, from there, we want to go over here. We're going to have another command line that we're going to put in here. So I'm going to kind of move that off to the side. I will shrink it back up and we can see all of those in just a moment. We'll take that out. Now, our next commands. Again, when the green flag is clicked, but now we want to do forever. Forever, we're going to hide the ghost. We're going to wait a random amount of time, 5 to 10 seconds. This again is an option you could change up. But for now, let's leave it 5 to 10 seconds. Then we want to go to, now remember, earlier on the cheese, we had that same go to. I could go over here, drag that, and drop it here on the ghost, and guess what? It would automatically appear and I wouldn't have to type all of that in. So again, if I go to the cheese, I could grab that command, drop it on the ghost, and it would automatically appear, and then I can put it in my code and I wouldn't have to try to type it up. Just a little shortcut to help you out here. So back at the ghost, we're looking, we've got the go to, we've got the show, because now we want it to show, and it's going to show for wait, pick random, 5 to 10 seconds. Now, all of these commands we've gone through multiple times. So I'm going to shrink it back down so that everybody can see all the code and you can follow along. Now that's going to conclude what we're going to work on for now. We will be working on adding more to this. We may be adding more ghost by using our clone or duplicate, but then we're going to start working on making the maze.